Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And as you can tell by the title, what we'll be talking about, love isn't enough. And I cannot stress this to you guys. This is like an ongoing debate on social media that love is indeed enough. Love isn't enough. And it's the harsh truth. It is not something that we want to hear because we're so coded into a society that likes to have like kind of like these fairy tales about everything. But unfortunately, if we're realistically speaking, anything that revolves around relationship, friendship, or any of that sort, love is just not enough. I am not your mom and you are not my child, and vice versa. So unconditional love isn't something that can happen with people from the outside world. And you have it. Some people, you don't choose your family, but some people don't have the best parents. So that really goes to show you love just isn't enough. Okay, there are so many things that follow that needs to be a part of building the foundation of love. When you go to build a house, you build the construction with cement and water and other things. Then you need the wood plank in order to make the foundation stronger. You need so much. You need machines. You need all of that. Without all of these things combined, you cannot have one solid foundation to build your home on. And I think a lot of the times we just live in this delulu world where we just believe that social media at least has conditioned us to believe that love would carry you for decades and decades and decades and decades. Love is the undertone to a lot of things. Love is the how would I say it, the thing that pushes a lot of things to happen, the changes, the modifications, the you doing things just for the sake of making your partner or friends happy. All of that matters, but you have respect, you have trust, you have dependency, you have intimacy, you have so many factors that matter. And sometimes, if not tops love, there's going to be days where you are not going to love your man. There's going to be days where you're not going to love your best friend. There's going to be days you're not even going to love your child. And that's just me being very harsh right now. But in those moments, you have to understand the bigger issue at hand, which is what is leading you to not, want to be in love with this person at that moment, or what is leading you to not feel loved by this person. Is it a comprehension issue? Is it a communication issue? Is it a trust issue? Is it, all of these factors that play this immense role? Even is it a financial issue? There are things that will destabilize your whole foundation. And that is when you have to compensate with other areas that you use to build your foundation of. And love is not even 80%. Okay? Because if, in my honest opinion, respect takes the cake, loyalty takes the cake, commitment takes the cake. There are just so many things. I'm not going to be in love with you every day, but I am going to love you. And in those moments where I just love you and I'm not in love with you, I have to be able to beat that demon inside of me that's telling you to leave you in that moment. That demon that's telling me to end that friendship because you just couldn't understand that I like churros more than waffles. That demon that, even though my 3-year-old toddler kid is fucking shit up, he's a kid nonetheless. Love isn't enough. And I'm saying this and I'm bringing this topic up because I recently had this conversation with someone, and I told this person that it is important to discuss these terms and condition with the people that you plan on going far with. Obviously, this is not a conversation to have on your first date, but this is definitely one of those conversations that you need to be having, if not 2 to 3, 4 months until you knowing that you want to take a person seriously. I have to be able to take a big step back and go, can I trust this person? Does this person respect me? Are boundaries very clear? How do we communicate? Is there comprehension? Is there emotional intelligence? What is this person doing for me that I could do for them? What value do I bring into this person's life, and what value do they bring into my life? And as much as that sounds materialistic, I don't care. Because you need to know what value you bring into somebody's life. Just like you need to know if that person brings value into your life. There is no point. Because at a certain point, if you end up being with somebody that brings no value into your life, guess what? You're going to start pouring from an empty cup. And when you start pouring from an empty cup and you start realizing that you're pouring from an empty cup, guess what starts to set in? Resentment. And that girl, I know that girl for years. Me and her, we real cool. We went on coffee dates and stuff. Once she sets in, she does not leave. That's one thing about resentment. Once you start resenting your partner, you might as well call it quits. Or you might as well have a deep conversation that's going to take a couple of conversations for you to get over. Resentment is one of those powerful emotions. And the reason why it's such a strong emotion is because it takes just enough time to build up and sneak up on your ass. It's not the type of emotion like anger that comes just like this. It's not upsetness. It's not frustration. It's not hunger. No. It's kind of like shame. Shame and resentment are two. They're the type of emotion that sneaks up on you, and they build. And by the time you want to knock her down, you got to do a couple of hits in before she gets knocked down. You don't want resentment to build in. So these are things that you have to talk about your partner or your friends or your family or whatever. What is the value you bring into my life? And it's not even on a scale of you have to cut that person off once you have, deliberately decided, okay, I bring this much value into a person's life and they bring this much value into my life and and whatever. And once all of these details are worked out, I think this helps you kind of place what rank this person holds in your life. So you know not to give too much and you know not to take too much, because there are boundaries, even if they're imaginary boundaries, being set between the dynamic of both of y'all relationships. Love just isn't enough. I can't stress this enough, actually. And when it comes to relationship, these things have to be worked out. Reason why I say this is because, again, you're ranking this person. You are just getting to know a person. And within that 6-month frame of you getting to know somebody, it is so important for you to be aware where this person ranks. Oh my God, does this person bring high value and I bring low value to them? Is this going to work on a long term? Are they going to start resenting me? How low or how high do I rank on their scale? Just because most of the time, not most, but sometimes it can happen that you end up attracting a person that will bring such high value to you and you can't reciprocate that high value, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's logical, anything. You probably just cannot at that moment reciprocate that same value. And so you rank lower in their ranking, meaning that you are engaging with someone that just doesn't have the same level of attractiveness. Guess what? In the long run, that ends up being a problem down the line, because you end up trying to overpour, knowing that the pour that you're giving, the juice that the water, the liquid that you're trying to pour into this individual is not as high quality as the liquid that they're pouring into you. So you're having to pour twice as much, okay, for a person. Hence, this person loses interest in you. I hope everything I'm saying is making sense, because right now it's all, it's all running in my head. But it's you having to have this important, I was going to use dissociation, but I lost my word. It'll come back to me. It's you being able to take apart these things off the beginning. Please, I'm begging you, my crew, please, I'm begging you. Don't ever get into a relationship, friendship, whatever it may be, situations, I don't care, leading with love first. At least lead with logic first before having your emotions set in, because you will end up in a situation where, unfortunately, your emotions are going to start making decisions on logical things, and that is going to fuck you up, okay? When I say love isn't enough, especially in those 6-month frame, do not lead with love. You could lead with lust, because once you bust that nut, you get clarity. Okay, that's cool. You could lead with anything you want, honey, just not love. Please, just not emotion. You could lead with attractiveness. That's okay. You're attracted to this person. You're doing whatever, da 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 da. But it cannot be mishaps or translated into love just yet until you know these conditions, these terms and conditions. Every time you sign up for an app, guess what? They ask you to read these terms and conditions. Of course, everybody, including myself, skip over them. That's what you don't do when it comes to friendship, when it comes to relationship. I have a very tight circle, just like I have a big outer circle. And these are people that I've ranked, that I know that if I were to be friends with them, I would be pouring more value into them than they would be pouring into me. And I am okay with putting them on an outer circle and just being friends enough where I could pour into you just as much as you can pour into me. And I'm pretty sure for me is the same thing with other people, where it's like they probably have a higher value and they pour just enough so I can pour back. It's having that boundary. And I think it's very important to have when it comes to relationship or friendships or anything. Just love isn't enough. And that is the message that I have for you guys today. I hope this message carries you well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send this video to somebody that you feel like needs to hear it, or if you need to hear it, make sure you drop a comment and tell me how you feel about it. And until then, until next time, my loves. On to the next video. Bye.